Welcome to Press Party. I'm Joe Battenfeld. It's a crime that shocked the nation. What caused a 14-year-old Danvers high school student to allegedly kill a 24-year-old teacher? Press Party's Katie Eastman has an inside look at the media coverage from the scene of the murder.
Massachusetts was thrust into the national spotlight yesterday with the news of a beloved math teacher murdered by a high school student.
It was just so sad to hear it when they announced that it was her.
The story started out the day before when a 14-year-old boy went missing. At the time, no one knew anything about 24-year-old Colleen Ritzer's death.
As a result of that report, Danvers police initiated a search for the teacher and discovered blood in the second-floor bathroom at Danvers High School.
Philip Chisholm's name and picture was plastered across TV stations. But a day later, when he went from the victim to the suspect, his name and face disappeared.
A 14-year-old student is now accused of her murder.
Most news organizations have a policy of not naming juvenile suspects, but after he appeared in adult court, the news started treating him like an adult.
Chisholm is a high school student and star on the JV soccer team.
So when is it okay to name a juvenile suspect? What's the criteria for turning a kid into an adult? Reporting for Press Party, I'm Katie Eastman.
All right, well, Jacqueline, you were talking about this on your Herald radio show about the fact that there's been a lot of unfounded speculation about this case, and how do you think the media have handled it so far? It's still early, but obviously CNN's there all the time, Fox is there constantly. They were on again today, 24-hour news cycle.
What I found most interesting about this whole case is the fact that first this teenager was considered missing.
Right.
So we have a photo on Danvers' Twitter
his
page.
His name came up, yeah.
And so we have a photo, we have his name. And then we hear later on that that same teen is the one that allegedly murdered the teacher. But what's interesting is the media now has access to the photo and the age and everything of this teen, and they're going with it. And at this time, it hadn't been decided they were going to be tried, he was going to be tried as an adult. So it's sort of a slippery slope.
But I think many in the media did not report that until it was confirmed, right? Until the police came through and said, right?
Yes, but they were talking about it before the DA decided to charge him as an adult, where technically the media should not have been saying his name until he was tried as an adult.
Right, and it's hard for them, and like you said, his picture and the name. The way that case came out was they were looking for a missing person.
Well, I think the police were strategic in the way that they let the information out, putting it out as a missing person. I think they knew that something was wrong at that point.
Right.
And I actually think the media early on had showed some restraint in terms of the speculations. Now we're beginning to hear and see a lot more speculation.
Yeah, and I don't like that
relative
in this case.
to what happened, why it happened.
Right.
And
I mean, the poor woman who just got murdered and her family, you know she's going to get dragged through some stuff because of this, so it's probably not even true.
I think privacy's got to rule the day as far as the media is when it comes to families and young children, obviously. The marathon bombing was one of these examples, though, I think, of where it's like hard to know what's going on. Initially, if you all remember, before we knew it was the Zarnoff brothers, people thought that they saw video and they saw people putting a bag next to a trash can, and they identified two people, I think, that were the wrong people. High school students. Yeah. And so again, you start going down a path and you potentially could ruin lives that you didn't intend to ruin. So, I think whenever possible, the media should pull back.
Especially in this case when you're dealing with a victim, a young woman like that.
Exactly. It's fine to cover the facts of the case, but to speculate as to motive at this point in time is way out of line for the media, because they're going on absolutely nothing but rumor and innuendo or total speculation on their
Motive
part.
and speculation, I think, are not great at this point, but what has been very interesting about covering the story is the social media element of it. I mean, we have learned so much about this teacher just from her Twitter page or Twitter handle. Sorry, Tito, I know I get this messed up and you get all upset with me.
Don't say Twitter.
Okay, no Twitter.
That company's out of business.
Okay, I know, but I used to love going there. But anyways, point being
$8,000 speakers. Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to say that I think that it's been very interesting that we can really give a voice to this woman that now is passed through what she's done on social media.
Yeah, and I think the family in this case, in some cases it's good for the family to come out, and it helps their case if they explain what she was like. I know it's hard for them to do, but it's up to that, totally up to them, but it's sometimes helpful at least telling her story.
Oh, are you trying to get an exclusive? Is that what's going on here?
I think, again, I feel very bad for her family. I also feel bad for his family. This is a kid who has ruined several lives. it is allegedly ruined the lives
Yeah,
of several people.
Mother was walking through all the cameras and everything yesterday.
Yeah, so I think as a good doctor said, it's important that the media shows restraint and actually tells the story, and that is the truth as the truth comes out, rather than speculates what the truth is relative to these individuals.
But to Jacqueline's point about social media, one of the reasons why they don't show restraint is that because they don't want to be scooped by the social media. And the social media in many ways is driving the agenda of traditional media in this instance.
All right, I wouldn't mind if I was in the news business being slow on this one. I'd rather not report something that turns out to be totally wrong and could damage people. I'd say let it, if it's on social media, fine, but we have to confirm it as actual newspaper.
And to that point, before we were going on the air yesterday, Hillary and I were getting reports that a teacher was found in the dumpster, and we had one report saying that, and it was. But I said, no, we're not gonna go on one report. We're gonna wait until the actual official report comes out and hold off, because screwing it up, you just never look.
This is not a good case, but I have to say that I'm afraid that this case is kind of tailor-made for the constant live shots, Fox, CNN, even like entertainment type shows, because it's a young it's a young teacher.
Cooper lives for moments.
Oh
like
yeah,
this.
yeah. So it's going to be, I think, get worse before it gets better. But hopefully, at least us in the local media will be restrained and responsible in the reporting of this. It's a horrible, horrible case. I think it's really touched a nerve.
Yeah, if the perpetrator were at large, I can see maybe getting the media more involved. But clearly, at this point, it was not. He's not.
It's helpful, I think, if the authorities can give at least some reason why this happened, because people are going to continue to speculate unless they lay out at least some bare evidence as to what happened, whether the kid was had mental problems or something like that, because that will stop a lot of the speculation.
And I think this also does bring up a question. I know we talk about the media, but the policy of kids being tried as adults.
Yeah,
and
it does.
so
it does.
I think there's, I think that question is one that again is being discussed.
Yeah, I mean, if they didn't try him as an adult, we wouldn't know his name. We would know it, but we wouldn't be allowed to report it, at least under their state rules. So
I know we just changed to 17 years old for crimes to prosecute at 17 instead of older. But this is a murder case is the problem with this one, and I think that's where he's 14. It's a very sensitive issue as well.
Yeah, particularly horrible case too that people are really outraged about. All right, thank you very much, everyone, and keep watching Press Party here on BostonHerald.com. The botched rollout of Obamacare just keeps getting worse. That's a click away.